Alright everyone, I am back, and let's go ahead and form the party for this here. Alright, so in terms of who I want to take, I want to take Raha as the healer. And then... yeah, we don't have many choices here in terms of DPS. It looks like it's going to be Amalj'aa and Y'shtola. Alright, let's kick this off. To be honest, I've always been more of a fan of regen healing than I am of shield healing. Which is why I would prefer to have Graha in that healing slot. So far, this dungeon's going pretty well. Ah, we got an ad here. A Lesser Teledragon. I'd say this is also a pretty good remix of the area music for the Amalj'aa. Apparently the kobolds are here as well. Oh, even the dragonettes there are calling for glory to the Empire, apparently. Or glory to Garlemald. strange. Wouldn't that dragon be speaking in its own language rather than in common for the, well, whatever common is on this world, I guess? Or perhaps it's just the great worms that speak like that. Ah, there's our first boss. I was wondering what was going on. Alright, so this appears to be some sort of scaled coral here. So let's see how this goes. Where are they running around to?
I will not hold back.
Alice, you actually brought out a Berk here there.
Allow me.
Let's give them a show.
Okay, I get it now. To leave it on whatever the lightning rod is there.
Away with you.
Yeah, they're going down. Interesting one, but easy, that's for certain.
What took you so long? The Amalj'aa are in trouble. Let's split up.
don't want to double pull on this one since my cooldowns are still up at this point here. All right.
Oh, no, you don't.
Well, that makes that a quick battle.
You underestimate me!
Now, what is this? Is this an ads boss?
Going to leave a mark!
It would seem that I am right in that case. I guess we gotta wait for the casters to break into the Algan device up there. Now we take it down.
Stubborn.
Yeah, this is a mechanics-heavy fight, but there's no actual boss here aside from the thing up on the ledge there, basically. It's actually making this fight a little bit easier than I think it was intended to be. Here we go again. And there we go. All right, this way. Looks like the end of the road here. I will get this treasure coffer, though. Just some materia. Ah, Tiamat. Oh, hey, we're getting a ride. Well, if Tiamat's helping, I am not gonna look this, in the mouth here. Let's, double pull.
You underestimate me! Gloves are on.
Oops, I didn't mean to bring that up.
Away with you!
No way. Are we seriously dealing with him this quickly? Seems a little too soon to be doing this. I guess Tiamat didn't have any comment about his hair either. Or feathers or whatever those are. Alright, let's do this. Got the nails coming down again. He's gonna do a twister.
will not hold back.
Easily dealt with.
Allow
Lunar
me.
Flare. Ah, in the middle. And now we got Giga Flare coming up.
Stubborn.
Akmorn. Alright, safe spot is going to be to the sides after that explosion. There we go. And here comes Lunar Flare again. So is it going to be in the middle again? No, it's going to be on the sides. Paglth'an is a tank buster.
I will not hold back.
Raha's letting me go down a bit there. Let me help him out. Maybe a little bit on the on Final Fantasy X, although actually no, I don't remember it being like that with the feathers or whatever. Maybe the Dark Aeons, but I'm not 100% certain about that. Alright. Dungeon is done. Let's get out of here.
Untitled in Iceland. Untitled Alpha. Snalask Ash An Dran Mira
Noble warriors, the dragons chose their friends well. have our peoples waged war, but no more. Your fallen lie beside our own. By our words and deeds shall we honor their sacrifice.
We would be proud to call you our allies.
The enemy of our enemy is our friend. And you have proven yourselves worthy of our trust. It is the Garleans who are deserving of our fury. I shall see that my brethren learn the truth of this day, and rally as many as possible to the cause, till we meet again.
And thus did we make allies of the Amalj'aa.
It would certainly seem that way. The Sultana will be pleased. Let's go and give her the good news, shall we?
What about Arenvald and Fordola? Maybe they need some backup? Sometime earlier inside the Paglth'an Tower. Alright, I guess we're gonna find out about what happened here then.
What in Ralga's name happened here?
The gods only know. But you can bet these poor sods aren't here by choice.
Quickly! We've got to get them free!
Get back!
No! What have I done?
Probably alerted the whole place.
It's too late for them! We're leaving, now!
I mean, in a way, it kind of looks like a wailing wall if you've ever seen one of those.
No! No!
Ifrit.
Don't you dare! We came together and we're leaving together!
Although it's got a different color. Let me guess. Lunar Ifrit? If that is going to be a theme here. Anyway. To see the Amalj'aa fighting alongside us brought to mind the Zune of the Crystarium. I pray that our peoples can forge bonds as strong as those of our counterparts in the First. From what I could tell, there didn't seem to be many Imperials in the vicinity of that tower. Hopefully Arenvald will have used the opportunity to get in and out undetected. Though the day is won, thanks in no small part to thy valor, the Telophori are far from defeated. Yet be that as it may, 'Tis only right that we rejoice in Lunar Bahamut's banishment unto the ether. It will take more than a single victory to wash away all the bad blood between men and Amalj'aa, but one has to start somewhere. Tiamat did all she promised and more this day, but I doubt she will be satisfied. Nay, she will fight on in defense of her children, wheresoever they may be. While it would be too much to hope that we have seen the last of Fandaniel, we have dealt his scheme a telling blow this day, and that alone is cause to celebrate. And celebrate I will, when we have received word of Arenvald's safe return. Alright, let's go with the Savage Aim materia. You can now enter Paglth'an with a party of NPC avatars. To make use of this feature, open the Trust interface located under Duty in the main menu. Alright. When the dust settles... Standing around here worrying is not going to help matters. Come, we must discuss the day's events with Pippin and her grace. Brave scions! Would that I could treat you to a hero's welcome, but I bear urgent news from the frontispiry. Your grace, whatever is the matter? As our troops withdrew from Paglth'an, they come upon the 2 scouts sent to the nearby tower. I have yet to hear a full account, but it seems that one of them, your friend I believe, had been wounded, and was being dragged away by the other. Oh no. I must go. Forgive me, your grace. Can you tell us aught of Arenvald's condition, your grace, the wounded scout? Not save that it is grave. The Kairugans tend to him even as we speak. The infirmary must be inundated with the wounded. If all of us go, we'll only get underfoot. Prince Sistinian, would you mind going after Alphino? He may need some support from someone other than me. Very well. Thank you. The rest of us will see that the relevant people know what took place in Paglth'an. Come on, then. Alright, so for this one, we need to head inside. Let's see, this is going to be near the Alchemist Guild, actually. Let's see. Husting strip will be fine. Another one to come see the lad in silver armor? Master Amalj'aa is attending to him as we speak. If you would be so kind as to wait. What did Master Amalj'aa say? Tell me his exact words. Enough, Alphino. This isn't helping. You're right, forgive me. When we said our farewells to Arenvold, I was afraid that something like this might happen, but now that it has, all we can do is wait.
Fordola, have you been waiting here all this time?
We have done what we can. The rest is up to him.
May we see him?
I do not think that wise. You must let him sleep.
Thank you for bringing him back. He owes you his life. I just wish I had been there. Perhaps, I don't know. Perhaps I could have...
Could have what? Got tempered? Don't flatter yourself. You can't save everyone. No one can. Not even the warrior of bloody light. People die all the time, for no good reason. And those who take up the sword die quicker than most. If you're going to shed a tear every time a soldier falls on the battlefield, you'd best stay away. It's no place for the weak of heart.
It may be that victory cannot be won without cost. But all life is precious, and I refuse to shrug at its loss.
All life is precious! Oh, you need to grow up, little man. Before your sparkling ideals get everyone killed.
You're right. He is idealistic. But the world has more than its fair share of realists, like you and me. It's people like him who dare to dream that things could be better, and make it happen against all the odds. They are the ones whose names live on forever. The heroes.
The battlefield's littered with would-be heroes. At this rate, you'll lot'll be next. And what'll become of your precious dreams then? They'll be gone. Like dust on the wind.
Dreams worth fighting for don't die so easily.
Alright, let's see how Alphino's doing here. I know. There's nothing more I can do here. Come, let us rejoin the others. Her Grace invites the Scions of the Seventh Dawn to join her in the Fragrant Chamber. Your comrades have already arrived. Will the three of you be joining them? We will.
Your Grace, pray forgive us our lateness.
Think not of that. I understand a close comrade of yours was wounded in the line of duty. Arenvold. It was at the Alliance's behest that he risked all, and we are grieved to hear of his condition. Rest assured, he will receive the finest care our chirurgeons can provide. On that you have my word. Now, we would share with you the findings of the mission. Pippin, pray relate to our guests the details of Fordola's account.
First Bahamut, now Ifrit. Or Lunar Ifrit, as Fan Daniel would doubtless have it.
'Tis now all but certain that the towers were conceived to facilitate the summoning of primals by those imprisoned within.
And it would seem that I guessed right about the name earlier.
Less certain is the means by which the Telophoroi constrain the wills of said entities to enact their designs in defiance of the pleas of their victims.
Mayhap they do not. If mere proximity to the towers is enough to make loyal servants of the Empire's mortal enemies, it stands to reason that the same is true for those held captive. They invoke their gods for the good of Garlemald, and in their disturbed state of mind, summon a primal whose form reflects their own alteration.
It all begins to make sense. Upon closer inspection, I realized that the towers bear a striking resemblance to a much larger structure which Urianger and I observed from afar during our visit to the Imperial capital. Assuming it too is capable of tempering those in its immediate vicinity, it would go some way to explain the swiftness with which the Telophoroi managed to rally so many Imperials to their cause.
While the situation in Garlemald is indeed troubling, I fear we have more immediate concerns.
You know, come to think of it, if there are that many towers out there, I wonder just how many of the primals are actually being summoned. Like, is there a lunar good King Mogomog out there? Or a lunar... what's his name? Not Gilgamesh, but the one that he summoned. Okay, maybe not that one. Actually, that was sort of a fluke that even happened in the first place.
Ifrit was not the only primal summoned. At approximately the same time, observers at several other towers bore witness to the emergence of further such entities. For a blessing, none appear to wield aught approaching the destructive power of Bahamut, and the Grand Companies are moving to deal with the threat even as we speak.
The Grand Companies, Your Grace, is that wise?
Though we are aware that the task will not be easy, we would call upon the scions only as a last resort. Pray, conserve your strength for now. After all, it was not so very long ago that you rid us of Bahamut. On which note, I am pleased to report that our talks with the Amalj'aa have reached an agreeable conclusion. They have pledged their full support to our cause. It is our hope that this historic agreement will encourage other tribes to join us at the negotiating table. And I know that I speak for all of the allied leaders when I say that we will welcome them with open arms at such time as they do. Of course, this was only made possible by the feats of heroism performed at Paglth'an. Moreover, we shall not allow the sacrifices of those fallen in battle to have been made in vain. As hope leads to victory, shall victory lead to a new dawn for Eorzea.
May these words ever be our guide, Your Grace.
Now, if you will forgive me, I must consult with the Syndicate on the matter of our new allies' integration. Till next we meet, my friends, I bid you safe travels and blessed respite.
Enkidu, that's what the name was. It was bugging me, and I just finally remembered it. Alright. Alice. Right then. Unless anyone has any objections, I think it's about time we return to the Rising Stones. And that includes you, Alphino. Arnvald is in good hands here. Of course. He would doubtless mock me for pacing about the infirmary. Let us retire, then, that we might regain our strength and readiness for the coming challenges. If all are in agreement, then, I shall let Krile know to expect us. A hot bath and a hearty meal shouldn't be beyond arranging with the time available. It would be good to be home. I have some thinking to do. Yes, I'll try asking him. And thank you. I shall look forward to it. Our comrades eagerly await our return, and Krile, in particular, has a few matters she is keen to discuss. One of which concerns you, Estinian, I believe it or not. You will join us, won't you? Fine. Really? I thought you said you were avoiding that Baldessian woman. If I refused, she would only pursue me. Let's get this over with, shall we? Alright, to the Rising Stones we go.
Welcome back. I expect you must all be exhausted. Ere you take your rest, however, I would beg a moment of your time. Thanks to Arnvald's selfless efforts, we may now be confident that we understand the function of the towers. But many questions remain regarding the reason for the summonings, and what lurks behind the looming edifice in Garlemald. Until such questions are answered, we will struggle to devise an effective strategy for thwarting the Telophoroi's stated aim. Nothing less than the destruction of this star. And so, given the gravity of the situation, I move that we petition the aid of Sharlayan.
'Tis possible the ancient knowledge preserved within our archives may hide a clue to our enemy's methods. But given Sharlayan's established policy of non-intervention, our former colleagues are not like to aid us in its discovery.
Oh, I well remember what they're like. The Forum's barefaced refusal to assist you in the days prior to the calamity must rank as Sharlayan's most shameful act since the Exodus. But were the final days to be reenacted, it would spell doom for us all. Surely even they cannot turn a blind eye to that. I trust we are all of the same mind on this matter. Urgent as it seemed, I took the liberty of petitioning the Alliance for leave to act as Eorzea's emissary, and have since received their blessing.
I presume your role as a student of Baldesion will carry some weight with the Forum?
One can but hope. If truth be told, our organization has been a shadow of its former self ever since the disappearance of the Isle of Val. But the name does still retain some degree of prestige. I only pray it will be enough. If there are no objections, I shall depart for Sharlayan at once. But before I do, I should also mention the other matter to which I would devote some time during my stay. After hearing what transpired in the first, I began to question the true nature of Hydaelyn's blessing, a topic I have discussed at some length with Y'shtola.
We were wondering, when was the last time Hydaelyn spoke to you directly?
Spoke to me directly. Near the end of the Dragonsong War. In the Crystarium, that was when everybody else was being spoken to.
When you regained her blessing, was it not? But never since. Not in all your time in the First, when you faced the Unsundered, the very heart of Zodiark.
History shows us that Hydaelyn is able to awaken the echo in her chosen, convey her will directly, and grant the blessing of light. To our knowledge, however, she has not sought to intervene in man's affairs for some considerable time.
Might not the explanation for that lie with her choice of champion? Mayhap she is content to trust in his judgment.
Mayhap she is. But following my initial discussion with Kryl, I made inquiries of my own, and as far as I am able to tell, Hydaelyn has not made her will known to anyone.
During my time in the First, the Oracle of Light spoke to me through Reen. But that was not the will of Hydaelyn. It was Minfilia herself.
Indeed. And while she and Hydaelyn were inextricably linked, Minfilia yet acted of her own volition. A messenger, yes, but one who spoke with her own voice.
Last time I think Hydaelyn spoke to her was when we were escaping from Ul'dah back at the end of A Realm Reborn.
I wonder, could Hydaelyn's silence suggest the presence of some disruptive force, perhaps? Some obstacle to communication? While I share Urianger's high opinion of your conduct, I see no reason why she would deny you her guidance altogether.
Or was it during that time with the Warriors of Darkness? Before going over to the First, rather back, near the end of the Dragonsong War.
Then again, who am I to say? The fact is, we simply don't know. But if the explanation is to be found anywhere, I can think of worse places to look than the archives of Sharlayan, and their research on the Ethereal Sea in particular. Resolved though I am to go, believe me when I say that I take no pleasure in the thought of leaving you a member short. Now of all times. Estinian, We stand on the eve of a struggle that will decide the fate of this star. One in which we scions may play a telling part, yet we are but few in number. And so I must ask you again, will you join us?
You see the world the way you want it to be. I see the world the way it is. You are idealistic to a fault. But I know you would never turn your back on those in need. Never close your eyes to their suffering. And somehow, your deeds lend truth to your words, giving the lie to my doubts in so doing. I have seen others draw strength from your belief. In Ishgard, in Ala Mhigo. You inspired them to stand up and fight. To win, no less. And even when you lost those you held dear, you carried their spirit with you and made their memory your guiding light. The burden of so many hopes and dreams would be too heavy for most to bear. But you bear it willingly, as you have shown me. Some dreams are too important to let go. If you have need of my strength, it's yours. After all you've done, how could I refuse?
Thank you, Estinian. Whatever challenges await us, I shall not falter. You have my word.
And so we have another scion.
And now, I may bid you farewell. Safe in the knowledge that all is as it should be. In this little corner of the world, at least.
You will be sorely missed. Tread warily in Sharlayan, and do try not to let the Forum embroil you in their politics. A forlorn hope, I know, given the individuals involved.
I shall do my very best. Farewell.
Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace.
Well, does this one meet with your approval? Apparently not. Or could it be that you're still upset about the dragons?
You are unwise to remind me of so costly a failure. It will not affect our plans, I trust.
Oh, hardly at all. Though, admittedly, the chances of us being able to procure any more Mericidian dragons are rather slimmer following Tiamat's reappearance. Oh, but the seeds have been sown, my lord. We have only to wait for them to quicken.
Alright, so then this confirms that there are some Mericidian dragons still around, so yeah, hopefully at some point we'll actually head down to that continent.
Speaking of preparations, Is it safe to assume that you will be ready to control you-know-what?
The hour draws nigh. This nation, forged for Ascian ends, will finally prove its worth.
A mighty empire, now no more than an instrument of this star's destruction. What a pleasure it will be to put it to use. Which brings me back to our earlier topic. My lord, while I appreciate that it is not an easy decision, it really is past time you chose your weapon.
There is one that I have been meaning to test.
Well, well, not quite what I was expecting, though I will say, it does seem rather apt.
Well, it looks like I'm going to have a busy few moons. Not that they ever seem to be anything but. Thancred's got me dispatching troops to every corner of the realm, which is not to say I don't trust the Alliance, because I do. But when it comes to putting down primals, nobody does it better than us. Well, than you lot, more accurately. You won't catch me trading blows with a primal in the near future, but for every fell fiend you vanquish, there's countless meals to arrange, baths to fill, sheets to wash, stores to replenish, and the list goes on. Which is where I come in. And gladly, mind you. It's the least I can do to support the scions who risk life and limb. Like poor Arenvald. I wish there was something we could do for him. But we'll just have to settle for saying the odd prayer and keeping a roof over our heads. It wouldn't do to have him come back to a complete shambles now, would it? But that's enough of my rambling. Off you go and get some rest. If there are any developments, I promise you'll be the first to know. Alright, and Alisaie, the company we keep. Ah, Prince, you're looking well. I take it you managed to squeeze in some rest? If you came hoping for tidings from Krile, I'm afraid we're still waiting. But we do have some odd scraps of news to share. Scraps, she says. Lunar primals have been popping up all over the place, but the Alliance has the situation well in hand, thanks in no small part to Hoary Boulder and the others. Meanwhile, talks with the Beast Tribes have been going even better than expected. Encouraged by Ul'dah's progress with the Amalj'aa, Gridania has opened negotiations with the XIV, believe it or not. All of which is obviously very encouraging, but with the Telephoroi still out there, it's not as if we can afford to lower our guard. Begging your pardon, but I come bearing an invitation from the Alliance. A council meeting is due to be held in Ala Mhigo, and your attendance is humbly requested. Ah, we were just talking about the Alliance. May I ask what's on the agenda? I believe the intention is to share news of recent developments and discuss what measures might be taken to combat the Telephoroi in concert with our new allies. The Beast Tribes have also been invited. It is hoped that they will join us in the fight against our common foe. So the Alliance would bring all of the Beast Tribes into the fold at a single stroke. An ambitious plan, given the delicacy of the negotiations, but mayhap an expedient one, considering the threat we face. Indeed, my lady, and for their part, I am told the Beast Tribes have agreed to attend. If the Scions too are present, all of Eorzea will be represented. To arrange such a meeting must have been quite an undertaking, not only diplomatically, but practically. Pray inform the Alliance that we would be honored to participate. We shall make for Ala-Mhigo without delay. And I will bear your answer thither with all haste. We look forward to receiving you at the Royal Palace. Well now that we've accepted the invitation, who exactly is going to attend? I move that you and Y'shtola lead our contingent. Given how long you have worked to end summoning, it is only right that you be present for what promises to be a historic moment. I think we've all played our part in that little endeavor, don't you, Prince? All present may rightly claim a seat. I do quite agree. But by your leave, I believe I shall remain here and lend what assistance I can to the coordination of our defensive efforts. I'm not coming either. Aymeric will be there, and I'd rather not be interrogated. Very well then. With those with a mind to hold the fort, get on with holding it. I suggest the rest of us make for Ala-Mhigo. Shall we? Alright, to Ala-Mhigo we go. We have been expecting you. While some few guests have yet to arrive, the Alliance leaders are all present. Shall I show you in?
Esteemed guests, you honor us with your presence. As there is much to discuss, let us begin.
Information on our taken brethren you have, yes? Hear it we would! Beyond forgiveness these featherless ones are! With rivers of blood shall they pay. Freed our people must be!
We too would see your kin liberated. But ere we attempt their rescue, we must first find a means to negate the risk of tempering. Without that, we will be unable even to approach the towers, let alone contend with their defenders.
If all else fails, I've always found cannonballs quite effective.
And what of the prisoners? Would you see them slaughtered?
Think for a moment. Ponder, consider, think. If Merlwyb truly intended to bombard the towers, she would have done so by now. Remember, we came here to find a solution together, did we not?
Y'shtola spoke of defenders. I but offered a means to clear a path, should you require it.
Given the enemy's capabilities, we will all need to play our part if we are to have any chance of success. For if any here should give less than their best, it will be to the cost of every living being on this star.
A paragon. The Empire, our very gods. How can we hope to prevail against such odds?
That our foe is formidable, none would deny. But our strengths are many and varied. In this chamber, I see masters of strategy, masters of magic, masters of the land, the air, and the sea. And together, there is nothing in creation we cannot overcome. I beg your pardon?
What is it, Soulwalker? Do not express your passion thus. A little pretty without gills, perhaps? Suffice it to say, I am proud to be counted amongst Eorzea's finest. We Sahagin will play our part.
Ozzex, I completely agree with you there, yeah.
We kobolds have not forgotten the crimes the Overdwellers committed against us in the past. But today we look to the future, as allies united in purpose.
Make mock of the Ixal the Paragon does! Turns kin into puppets! Pits brother against brother! Free them from his grasp, we shall!
Yeah, I'm surprised we're not seeing representatives of the alternative beast tribe groups that we might have helped along the way. The ones that we got reputation with.
As Patriarch Zadar will attest, the Scions have granted us a means to free your brethren from their thraldom. This boon we will gladly share, that your people might never be enslaved again.
We accept! We accept!
Praise me!
It's taken a while, but I do believe we might be one step closer to a world without primals. Would that Minfilia were here to see it.
We still have a long way to go, and we're going to need a lot more Porksies. But we're moving in the right direction.
If I may have your attention, there is one other point I would like to raise. As we can all agree, freeing those held captive must take precedence over every other concern. But experience has taught us that none save those with the capacity to resist tempering can hope to enter the towers unscathed. And even once inside, a still greater threat may yet await them, that which we call a primal. Needless to say, if we are to succeed, engaging with such foes can only ever be considered a last resort. And so I move that we seek to prevent them from being summoned in the first place.
Yes! Both prayer and ether are needed for the ritual. Should either one be denied, the summoning would fail.
Indeed. And so we must endeavor to discover the source of the ether on which the process depends. Do so, and it may present a way to halt the summonings, or perhaps even neutralize the towers entirely.
A promising proposal. While you are conducting your investigations, however, we will need to remain vigilant, lest the Telophoroi commit further abductions and summon primals ere we have the means to prevent them. To stand a better chance of keeping our enemy at bay, we would do well to coordinate our defensive efforts, sending reinforcements to assist our neighbors when needed.
We Amalj'aa would have been overwhelmed were it not for our newfound allies. But say the word, and we shall come.
I see we are all in accord. I see we are all in accord. But what are we to call this proud fellowship of ours? I submit that the honor of naming it should go to the scion whose brave efforts have done so much to unite Eorzea. What say you, my friend?
I would call it the Grand Company of Eorzea.
But that's the name I...
A fine choice, for there is none here who does not love Eorzea.
Aye, in that we shall ever be united.
United in our gratitude for the realm that gave us life.
Then let it be recorded that on this day, the Grand Company of Eorzea was born.
Yeah, I was wondering where the oh, what are they called again? Not the Ananta, but the Kojin. I was wondering where they were in all these discussions. I guess we need a Grand Company of Othard as well.
How long have we dreamed of this moment? And now that it's here, Oh, forgive me. Might we speak outside?
Alright, Alphino, what do you got to say? Well now, that we are out of earshot of the other delegates, I hope you will forgive me if I speak my mind. Let me begin by saying that I have dreamed of this day since the moment I first set foot upon these shores, and that I was heartened as anyone to see the peoples of Eorzea pledge their solidarity. Yet even as they uttered their declarations, all I could think about was the conflict to come, of the sacrifices that would be made, and the lives lost. Inevitabilities that I still struggle to accept. But at least now there is hope. The formation of the Grand Company of Eorzea is the first step, the first of many. Many and more. Elder Seedseer, how might we be of service? I seek Master Alphino's assistance in a matter involving Gridania's neighbors, the Sylphs. I know that you and yours have long kept a weather eye upon the crystal trade. The better to predict the coming of primals, and so you'll be familiar with the Sylphs of the Ash Crown Consortium. Through their dealings, they have cultivated relations not only with the city-states, but many of the other communities besides. Communities such as the Beast Tribes. Just so, it is our hope that we may make use of the Sylphs' established lines of communication to coordinate the efforts of our new fellowship. Come to think of it, were there any moguls inside the room? I would figure they would also count in this because of King Muggle-Mog. Yet there remain certain practical differences between a trade consortium and a grand company. If the Sylphs are to perform their task effectively, they will require the Council of One versed in the operational aspect of an armed force. An armed force founded with the self-same goal in mind, no less. The Crystal Braves, yes. Forgive me, Master Alphino. I know that it was a painful chapter in your life, but the experience may yet be made to serve the realm. In my hubris, I plotted a course for the Crystal Braves which stretched far beyond the Order's initial conception. One intended to pave the way for the founding of what I intended to call the Grand Company of Eorzea. But my plans all came to naught. Built upon a frail foundation of lofty ideals, the Order was doomed from the first to collapse under the weight of more worldly interests. And I have no wish to see this new endeavor suffer the same fate. Mayhap I ask too much of you. Not at all. You may count upon my assistance for what little it is worth. By your leave, I shall prepare a report, including a list of recommendations drawing on the lessons I learned from the failures of the Crystal Braves. You have my gratitude, Master Alphino, and my trust. When your report is ready, pray share it directly with the Sylphs. With your guidance and the earnest efforts of every goodly soul gathered here this day, I have no doubt that our fellowship shall emerge from the shadow of the Telophori and flourish. Until next we meet, my friends. Before committing anything to writing, there are a number of people whose thoughts I should like to hear. Former Braves, you understand? Might you join me in seeking them out? I can't think of an excuse not to, so yes? Well, I shall be grateful of your help, grudging or not. I'll join you. If you're planning to canvass the opinions of your former comrades, it will be a lot quicker if we share the task of questioning them. Then mayhap Graha can lend a hand as well. I shall accompany Thancred back to the Rising Stones. Between us, I dare say, we should be able to provide an accurate enough account of the day's events. We should be glad of your company, Graha. I shall explain the details on the way. It will not be easy to revisit the past, but sometimes one must look back to see the way forward. I take it we will soon be paying the Sylphs a visit? How fascinating it will be to speak with them in person. Though I gather conversation can prove rather challenging. I don't know, it's not that bad considering the pixies. So, what's the plan? Brother mine? Before discussing the task at hand, I should probably admit that the report I propose is largely written. Not long after that fateful day in Ul'dah, I penned a detailed account of the organization's history, from the events that led to its inception to the failings that brought about its demise. This I did primarily as a means of taking some semblance of responsibility. Never did I imagine that it might later be referred to by those seeking to form a similar organization. And while I made every attempt to be objective, the account was mine alone, its events viewed from my singular perspective. For it to be of use, however, it must be broadened to encompass the viewpoints of all involved. Only then can it answer what seemed to me to be the crucial question. Namely, why, after the Crystal Braves disbanded, did some members choose to remain with us while others did not? I see. I think the answer will tell us something about the nature of the ties that bind our new Grand Company together, and that this knowledge might help us to prevent it from falling apart when those bonds are inevitably tested. That is my hope, yes. But the questions I would ask are uncomfortable to some. As the former commander of the Crystal Braves, I doubt that those who abandoned the cause would welcome my inquiries. Then G'raha and I will just have to try. Meanwhile, the two of you can talk to the ones who kept the faith. A fine suggestion. Have care, however. Certain of my former comrades are of questionable character. So keep your wits about you, and let us reconvene in Gridania later on. Yeah, did we ever find out what happened to Yu Hase? I'm not certain if he was at Balsol's wall or not. If you have no objections, I've a mind to begin by speaking with Riol and Aliane. If memory serves, the two of them will be attending an intelligence briefing in Castrum Oriens. Let us seek them out there. Yeah, the Lullafell. Alright, Castrum Oriens. I know he was one of the ones that resisted, I just can't remember what happened after. Or rather, one of the ones that betrayed Alphino. Well, look who it is. And what brings you two here? Wouldn't have anything to do with the big meeting, would it? In a manner of speaking, I have been assigned a task, you see, for which I require the assistance of former members of the Crystal Braves. So you want to know why we decided to stick with the scions, eh? Ain't an easy thing to put into words, that. Ah, so he was at Balsor's wall. Okay. As I once explained to Prince, I spent a long time agonizing over my failure to alert you to the traitors in our midst. For my negligence, I was captured along with many others, and we were powerless to prevent the tragedies that ensued. Not a day goes by that I do not think back to those fateful days. By joining the Scions, I hope to redeem myself, and I will continue to serve the cause for as long as I am able. But that wasn't my only reason. When we were finally reunited at the Rising Stones, you refused to blame anyone but yourself for the fall of the Crystal Braves. And in spite of everything that had happened, everything you had suffered, you took us back without a moment's hesitation. We would not have blamed you had you turned us away, but when you gave us your trust instead, what else could we do but try to repay it? Nothing, that's what. As for me own tale, well, I've always felt the Scions have something in common with me old crew. The duty of the strong is to protect the weak. That was our creed, and I strive to live by it to this day. But as time's gone on, I've learned the strength in many shapes and sizes. From Hoary Boulder to Mistress Tataru, we've all got us something to offer. And not one of us is doing it for personal gain, because we believe there's more important things than that. Things worth protecting, which is what being a Scion's all about. I am at a loss for words. Thank you, my friends. To hear this from you means more than you know. Forgive me, Prince. Could you... Why do you think the Crystal Braves ended in failure? Well, it's founding ideas were something to be proud of, but ideas alone don't make a crew. For every swab who signed up with good intentions, there was another who was only in it for the coin, the glory, or both. Ours was quite a disparate band, and while I will never forgive Ilberd, the fact that we managed to function at all was thanks in large part to his efforts. Just a pity he was doing it for all the wrong reasons, eh? Only takes one bad apple, they say, and the Braves had a barrel full of them. Not like the Scions. We might look like a ragtag band of misfits, but deep down, we've all got that shared sense of purpose. And why? Because Sataru sifted out all the glory hunters before they made it through the door. I see. So, while our ranks comprise a diverse range of people, each with their own individual strengths, we are all united in purpose. Thank you, my friends. With your permission, I shall make a record of our discussion and refer to it when drafting my recommendations. Until we meet again. Alright. On official business. Well, I think we've taken up enough of our colleagues' time, and I am conscious that less life-affirming testimonies await. Let us make our way to Gridania and hear what the others have learned. Alright, by the Conjurers Guild. Thanks to Tataru's ever-dependable intelligence, we managed to track down a handful of former Braves without any great difficulty. Some were forthright, others less so, but we heard enough to form a picture. I must warn you, Alphino, some of their comments were harsh. I can well imagine, but their opinions are no less vital to my report. I seek the unvarnished truth. Thank you. I will set about adding your findings to my own at once. In the meantime, pray go on ahead to Little Solace and seek out Elder Frixio. I will join you anon. Alright, Little Solace, that's going to be in the East Shroud. Ah, welcome, Brave One and friends of Brave One. How good it is to see Walking Ones again so soon after the meeting. Should this one perform the customary dance of greeting? No, be at ease. It is true that these ones once delighted in making Walking Ones dance, but no more. Horned One Kan-E-Senna said that Walking Ones would be coming to Little Solace. Imperial Ones also invaded Sylphlands and abducted many of these ones. So as these ones will be glad to bear messages between fighting friendly ones. That is heartening to hear, Elder. It will require all ones to work in unison to stop the Telerofi. My goodness, that name is such a tongue twister. Telefori. These ones will try very hard, of course, but in matters of war, these ones have little experience. Any advice Walking Ones can provide would be most welcome. Oh, another pretty silver-haired one, and in quite a hurry it seems. Alisaie, you must come quickly. Whatever's the matter, Alphino? Don't tell me. You couldn't read my handwriting. What? No, a Twin Adder officer accosted me as I was about to set out. Sharlayan has sent an envoy who is due to arrive in Gridania any moment. An envoy? Could it be that Crown has managed to sway the Forum? We shall know soon enough. But there is more. The envoy has requested that the two of us attend the audience with the Elder Seedseer. Really? I can see why they might want scions to be present, but us specifically? Wait, it isn't who I think it is. It is. I could scarce believe it myself. But when I inquired as to the envoy's identity, I was told that it was one Fortunal Levieur. Your father? Well now, the fact that a serving member of the Forum had journeyed here would be surprise enough, but him? Quite. I gleaned from this that they're taking the matter seriously. Or is it possible that he has come to collect the two of you and take you away from the scions? I guess we'll have to see. That may be, but why him? And not one of the other 98 Forum members, unless he volunteered for it. It has been some time since you last saw your father, has it not? Could it be that he is concerned for your well-being? Perhaps, but he has always been reluctant to discuss his work with us. Indeed, and whenever we write to our parents, it is invariably our mother who replies. Nevertheless, I welcome the opportunity to meet with him after so long, even if it is secondary to his true purpose here. Elder Phrixio, loath that I am to cut our visit short, we must return to Gridania. Pray accept my apologies, along with my report. Never mind, there will be time to talk later. This one won't keep walking ones from more urgent matters. Go. The audience will be held at the Lotus Stand, where the Elder Seedseer awaits us even now. Let us be on our way. Back to New Gridania we go. My goodness, it has been a rainy day today. Alright, to the Conjurers Guild. And let's speak to the Silent Conjurer. Welcome, Warrior of Light. The Elder Seedseer and your friends are waiting within. After all this time away, it will be good to see my father, even if it is at an official meeting. 99 may seem like rather a lot of members, but before the Forum was founded, every person of age in Sharlayan was given equal say in its governance. Many of the institutions that are still active today were established by the people's vote, not least the Studium. As Alisaie and I were constantly reminded during our time there, it is an example of what can be achieved through absolute democracy. During my time in Sharlayan, I heard much of Fortunal Levieur. He is a gifted speaker, known amongst other things for the uncompromising application of foreign policy. My friends, I thank you all for coming so swiftly. Word of Master Fortunal's visit took us quite by surprise. When the Alliance granted Mistress Kryl permission to request Sharlayan's aid, we did not anticipate so prompt a reply, much less that it would be delivered by a member of the Forum. What the nature of that reply may be, we shall soon discover.
Elder Seedseer, I thank you for granting me this audience. I am Fortuno Levea, here in my capacity as representative of the Forum.
It is I who should thank you, Master Fortuno, for journeying so far and so swiftly. Would that our first meeting could have been under happier circumstances.
It has been too long, Father. You look well.
As do you both. Amalj'aa will be glad to hear that you are taking care of yourselves.
How is Mother?
She misses you terribly, of course, but is otherwise a picture of health. Circumstances apart, I'm grateful that our meeting has afforded me the chance to be reunited with my children at long last. And I believe I also owe you thanks for the hospitality you showed my father, Louisoix, during his sojourn in Eorzea.
All thanks we owe to him. In the days prior to the 7th Umbral Calamity, it was your father's tireless efforts which granted us a means to vanquish the primals.
Living on a prayer.
Were it not for him, our strength would have been quite spent by the time the Empire arrived. That Gridania still stands is in large part his achievement. He was a great man.
He would doubtless have been moved to hear you say so. I must confess, however, that I opposed his decision to intervene. And my position remains unchanged.
To chart the course of history, not to change it. I am familiar with the Sharlayan stance.
It is more than that. It is our way of life, who we are. But I came here not to deliver a lecture, but the Forum's answer to your request. Sharlayan will under no circumstances intervene in the conflict between Eorzea and the Garlean Empire.
May I ask for what reason the Forum has come to this decision? The final days spell the end not only for Eorzea, but the entire world.
The final days? Pray spare me your hyperbole. This conflict is no more than the latest in a series of petty squabbles between yourselves and Garlemald, one in which Sharlayan will take no part. If the final days were truly upon us, we would know.
Well, with an answer like that, I'm expecting Sharlayan to be in ruins by the end of Endwalker, then.
Father, you must ask the Forum to reconsider. You may feel safe on your little island across the waves, but if you imagine the Telophoroi will leave you be, you are mistaken. They mean to kill us all, themselves included.
Alphino is right. We have seen what the enemy is capable of, the lengths to which they'll go. This is no time to turn a blind eye. If Eorzea falls, so too will Sharlayan. So if you truly love our homeland, you will join us. Now, before it's too late.
I thought you knew better than to raise your voice to your elders. It seems I was wrong. Wrong to ever let you leave, Sharlayan. I consoled myself that your time abroad would instill in you some hint of restraint, of discipline. But I see now that Eorzea has made fools of you both. Have you forgotten why it was that I so vehemently opposed your grandfather's departure? For all his wisdom, his only solution was to go to war. Death, devastation, ruin. Even those who claim victory are scarred for life. What prize could ever justify such sacrifice?
And just to be clear, I'm expecting them to be caught unprepared. That's the reason I'm thinking that's going to happen.
It is the duty of the learned to avert such tragedy. By fanning the flames of war, you forsake all you once held dear.
Interesting choices here. Better to fight and fail than wait for the axe to fall.
I see your friend shares your misguided ideals. But unlike him, you should know better. By espousing such barbaric notions, you subvert the teachings of Sharlayan and place all we have worked for in jeopardy. Alphino, Alisaie, as of this moment, you shall no longer bear the name of Leveilleur.
What?
Father. How you choose to live your lives is no longer my concern. If you wish to walk the path of ruin, I will not stand in your way.
Master Fourcheneau, while Sharlayan may have no intention of intervening in this conflict, we can still part as friends. Will you not stay and speak with us, that we might learn of Sharlayan's hopes for the morrow?
I have said what I came here to say. Any further discussion would be meaningless.
Father, wait!
Don't bother, Alisaie!
How can you stand there and watch him walk away? How can you let this happen?
G'raha really didn't say much at all of that conversation. In order to avoid conflict with Garlemald, the Forum went so far as to order the abandonment of an entire city-state. Their refusal to aid us now is, I am sorry to say, entirely consistent with their historic position. It was not so very long ago that we had a friend and neighbor in Sharlayan, and so I clung to the hope that she might yet lend us her strength. But when she forsook Giovannia, it seems she forsook us all. It is we who walk the path of ruin. Time will tell. So that's what he came here to say? That we're all fools for having the timidity to defend ourselves against the Telophori? And as for the rest... Like it or not, this was the Forum's decision, to watch from afar while Eorzea burns. Father was but the messenger, and as he handed down their judgment, I could think of nothing to say that could possibly sway him. I still can't. To have prolonged the discussion would have changed little, for it is not only Master Fortunal who must be persuaded, but the Forum as a whole. Their decision was made ere your father crossed the sea. Nor is it like to be changed, and so we shall face the Telophori without their aid. Forgive me, but if they had no intention of helping us, then why would they go to the trouble of sending an envoy in the first place? Why did they not simply keep their counsel, as they are wont to do? Prince, has Master Fulchinal arrived yet? Then it is as I feared. My efforts were in vain. I pleaded our case to as many Forum members as I could, but they flatly refused to discuss the matter. No, that's not exactly true. I should rather say that they ignored every word I said on the subject. Without exception. It was almost unnerving. Could it be that they are hiding something from us? That might go some way to explain Master Fortunal's performance? When he said that they would know if the final days were truly upon us, I dismissed it as pride. But what if they genuinely believe that they know how the world will end, and simply disagree with us about the circumstances? That I don't know. But something tells me that they are not as unconcerned about the Telophori as they claim. If the threat weren't real, why else would they be so standoffish and secretive? I would very much like to delve deeper into this, but I'm afraid I've exhausted every avenue of inquiry. Nor have I fared any better with my other mission, researching Hydaelyn and the Ethereal Sea. I tried enlisting the help of experts in the field, but it appears the Forum has forbidden anyone from cooperating with us. Obstructed at every turn. So it would seem, but don't lose heart just yet. With all the knowledge and acquaintances we have between us, we can still find a way forward. To that end, I would like you all to join me here. When the time is right, of course. I am aware that matters in Eorzea stand on a knife edge, but with your permission, I can at least start making the necessary arrangements. Well, there are one or two things to take care of here first. After which, assisting me will seem a sweet relief, I'm sure. While you attend to matters heroical, I shall see about securing entry for you all, and will let you know when everything is in order. Take care in the meantime, won't you? Your speculation give me cause to hope. Yet if these seeds will bear fruit, I cannot say. While it is possible the Sharlayans hide some secret truth from us, there can be no certainty that its exposure will prompt in them a change of heart. And so, for the present, we must needs confront the plight in which we find ourselves. The Forum has refused our request for aid, and it falls to us alone to contend with the Telophori. Even with all of Eorzea standing united, there's no guarantee that we will prevail. What does Sharlayan intend to do if we fail? Let me go with the lemon muffin here. Alright, Death unto Dawn. While Charlene's stance is indeed disappointing, we cannot allow ourselves to be distracted from the challenge before us. There is much and more to be done. I shall begin by sharing the forum's response with my counterparts in the Alliance. Meanwhile, I would ask the scions. Grave tidings, Walking Ones, great tidings. Calm yourself, my gentle friend. What has occurred? These ones who went to see Feathered Ones send terrible news. Destroying Ones have appeared in Zelphatol. Destroying Ones and captured Ones, and even frightful, godly Ones. Feathered Ones didn't stand a chance and were sent flapping and squawking. When did this happen? Is it too late to help them? Too late, yes, much too late. But luckily, Destroying Ones were only passing through, and continued on west. Feathered Ones who did not fight were left unharmed. West, that would be Korthus. My lady, the Ishgardians report that the Telophori have emerged from the eastern highlands of Korthus and are marching at speed. Though their purpose has yet to be determined, the Cartano Flats would seem to be their most likely destination. Lord Eremic has already dispatched his forces and requests our immediate support. Tell him he shall have it. The time has come for the Grand Company of Eorzea to prove its worth. Well, mayhap it is a mercy that we do not have time to stew upon our misfortunes. Come, my friends, let us make haste to Cartano. Wait, this one almost forgot. Destroying Ones were said to be led by Crackling Robed One. This one must see that all Walking Ones know. Farewell. Van Daniel? Who else? It was only a matter of time before that grinning maniac showed himself again. I shall have an airship ready to bear you to Cartano. Pray see to your preparations and report to the landing with all haste. At once, my lady. Let us away. Alright, we need to head to the Carline Canopy, which we can get to just with a quick return. And a quick run down here. Fordola. Come on, this will only take a moment, alright? Prince, it would seem Fordola here has come all the way to Gridania to find us. I have explained the situation, but she insists her business is urgent. Aye, it'll be over sooner if you shut up and come with me.
Arenvold! I can't tell you how good it is to see you.
It arrived a lot sooner than expected, eh? The day I craned my neck up at you.
Only because you're sitting down. Unless...
Afraid so. The Chirurgeons say I may never walk again. Come on, Alfino, it could be worse. Besides, I didn't come here to dampen the mood. Quite the opposite. All I've ever wanted was to fight for a cause I believe in. But my fighting days are over. So I want you to fight in my stead. Be the hero I can't.
I am no hero.
That's what they all say, though. No one ever calls themselves a hero. Even the ones who eat primals for breakfast. It's for others to decide. Look, Alfino. You already are a hero. To me and countless others. We see you doing your damnedest to protect us all. And you're not alone, are you? There are people who believe in you, just as you believe in them.
We carry the dreams of many. We'll carry yours too.
I know what's at stake, and how many people are depending on you. But I believe in you. Believe that you'll see it through. That's why I'm entrusting my dreams to you. Like Albert and Owly once entrusted their dreams to me.
There was a time when I would have borne the weight of such expectations without a second thought. But now, I know just how heavy that burden can be. To tell the truth, I'm beginning to wonder if I chose the right path. Sacrifices will inevitably be made for the sake of the ideals I uphold. Maybe I am not the person I thought I was. The person you think I am.
I wouldn't presume to tell you. But I will say this. In spite of everything, you've come this far. The road ahead might not always be clear, but you've never been one to give up or take the easy way out. And everything you do for others. For a brighter future. I'm proud to call you my friend. Well, I've said my piece, so I'll let you go. I know you've got more important things to be doing. Just give what I've said some thought, all right?
I shall, my friend. And we will meet again soon, I promise.
Nothing left for me to do but wave and smile.
You've got a pretty narrow view of what it means to be a hero, do you know that? You think they're all forged in the fires of battle? That it's all about being brave and killing villains? Alphino and the others will carry on their fight. But theirs isn't the only one. There are other ways you can make a difference. If you stop feeling sorry for yourself and put your bloody mind to it.
There's not much chance of me living the quiet life with you around, is there?
If you're content to twiddle your thumbs thinking of what might have been, that's your lookout. But I reckon you've got some fight left in you.
And I reckon you might be right. If there's a way I can still help my friends, I'll bloody well find it.
Alright, so that light around Amalj'aa tells me that there is a duty to get done here. I'm gonna have some smoked chicken. After Paglth'an, I had assumed the Telefroi would continue to target settlements, but it is plain they considered Xel'Vatol a mere obstacle on the road to Cartno. What, then, draws them to the flats? We must keep a close eye on their movements. I rather doubt that Fordola obtained the Karujan's permission before bringing Arvenvold halfway across the realm. And solely to deliver a message at that. They should both have known better. But what's done is done, and I will not soon forget his words. You can tell me later what that was all about, but judging by the set of Alphinaud's jaw, it appears to have done him some good. Thancred and the others have already left the Rising Stones, and according to the communications officer, Amalj'aa and Kobold forces are also bound for Cartno as we speak. They mean to keep the promise they made in Alamigo, and we must do the same by saving as many of their tempered kin as possible. Anyway, the airship is ready to depart. We should get going. Alrighty, so upon joining the battle at Cartno, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to participate in the battle and view these scenes in their entirety. Alright, so before we get this started here then, I want to take one last quick 3 to 5 minute break, at which point we are going to go ahead and join the battle at Cartno. So please stand by everyone, I will be right back.